You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta, and this, of course, is Locked On Phillies Postcast. Great to have you along for the ride. Oh, my goodness gracious. We are having fun in Philadelphia with this baseball team. The historic numbers are there. The team is incredible. We're having fun watching Cody Clemens, of all people, blast the ball out of the ballpark whenever he's called upon. Bryce Harper hits a grand slam. They chase the MLB ERA leader. And you know what? Credit to the person on their Twitter who told me former ERA leader in the MLB. After tonight, Phillies get the 10-1 victory. Welcome into this Phillies Locked On Postcast, and it is brought to you by none other than the wonderful people, the Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code, all lowercase, LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Phillies secure the victory. Welcome in once again. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and all that fun stuff when it comes to this YouTube channel, Locked On Sports Philadelphia, and these fine postcasts that we bring you. We started off today, as we do every single show, three big things. Let's start it off with Cody Clemens. Just when you thought you had enough people contributing, enough people helping, also just when you thought, hey, Trey Turner's going to go on the IL there for a minute there, we're going to miss him for 4 or 6 weeks, who can we get to step up? Bryce Stott starts hitting a little bit more, Whit Merrifield's hitting a little bit more, and of all people, you get Edmundo Sosa stepping up to the plate with a triple, and before that, Cody Clemens sets the table for the Phils. You're going up against Jose Barrios, the leader, again, formerly in Major League Baseball, with an ERA microscopic at 1.44. That's right, 1.44 ERA coming in, but he didn't think he'd have to face Cody Clemens. And Cody Clemens goes out there tonight, and he brings the big wood with him. First and foremost, you get Nick Castellanos getting the Phillies on the board with that RBI double. Plenty of good things to say about him coming up a little bit later. But then later in the second inning, after Brandon Marsh struck out on a slurve and Bryson Stott, the aforementioned Bryson Stott, got that single, and Edmundo Sosa steps up there and strikes out. So now you have a runner on second base after Stott stole second, and Cody Clemens stepping up there with 2 outs in the inning, and he's only, once again, facing the MLB leader in ERA. And what does he do? He takes him deep for a 2-run home run, his second home run in as many games for the Phillies this year. Bonkers. And the Phillies are up 3-0 just like that. By the 4th inning, Cody Clemens steps up to the plate again, this time with 1 out. Stott led up the inning with a strikeout. Then Edmundo Sosa was hit by a pitch. And Cody Clemens says, you know what, Edmundo? You look lonely there at first base. Let's bring you home. And Cody Clemens hits a blast to center field that caroms off the angled wall at CBP in center field. It allows Edmundo Sosa to come around to score, and Cody Clemens to get an RBI triple in that situation. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. And then, you know what? For good measure, why settle for 3 RBIs when you could have 4 RBIs, and he gets an RBI ground out in the 8th inning to help the Phillies out even more. How about that? That made it 10-1 after Edmundo Sosa caromed off the same wall for a triple, an RBI in the 8th inning as well. It's a beautiful wall. Honorable mention, if I had to go 4 big things, the 3 big things, the honorable mention goes to the angled wall in center field for the Philadelphia Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. So, Cody Clemens, you love to see it. And I even put it out there. You know what? If you're going to have Cody Clemens, all right, you're going to have the best record in baseball. You're going to have Bryce Harper mashing. You're going to have Kyle Schwarber mashing. You're going to have Nick Castellanos start to crank it up a wee bit. You're going to have all that going for you. But then have Cody Clemens start hitting home runs for you too, whenever called upon. You know things are going really well for the Philadelphia Phillies. So Cody Clemens, number 1 on the 3 big things for the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, number 2. We go down the list here. Number two. Okay. I could just say Bryce Harper right now. But I'm going to save that. I'm going to go. Just spoiler number 3, Bryce Harper. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with these people. Ready for this? I'm going to go with these people. But they haven't beaten anybody. Oh, the Phillies haven't beaten anybody. But they haven't beaten anybody. Oh, the Phillies, they haven't beaten anybody. That's funny because last time I checked, to have the best record in baseball, you have to beat other baseball teams in order to get. It's not like they just start the season and all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, how good's this team? Who really cares? They're not really going to beat anybody. This team's going to be terrible. Blah 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 blah. Let's just give them 26-11 on the season. No, you have to beat teams, to be quite literal, 26 times. All right, and then you have to lose 11 times for you to be 26-11. So for the people that are like, you haven't beat anybody. Well, okay, you've beat who is in front of you. And you know who is in front of you today? Only by ERA standards, the best pitcher in baseball. I know we love talking about Zach Wheeler. We'd have Zach Wheeler start a World Series and all that stuff. That'd be great. All right, love Zach Wheeler. He's great. But statistically speaking, Jose Barrios comes in today, okay? And he's the best pitcher in baseball, the 1.44 ERA. And what do the Phillies do to him? They run him. They chase him out of the game after just 3 2/3 innings of work, taking him for 8 runs, all of them earned, 2 dingers, 7 hits, and they make him in the process throw 90 pitches. His ERA goes from 1.44 to 2.85. His ERA against everybody else he's faced this season, ready? 1.44. His ERA against the Phillies, 22.50. I believe that's what hold on. I did the math. I think I did the math. Yeah, 22.50. So they did that against the best ERA in baseball. And they did it with Cody Clemens going yad. And they did it with Bryce Harper hitting a grand slam. Let's get to Bryce Harper. Just as I said with Cody Clemens, why have 3 RBIs when you can have 4 RBIs? You get the little RBI ground out there for good measure there in the 8th inning. That's great. And then Bryce Harper, he's got back-to-back games with 3-run home runs. But, after a while, you hit so many 3-run home runs. You just get bored after a while, I guess. So Bryce Harper decided to hit a grand slam tonight. And I saw somebody tweet it out. I retweeted it as well. But Bryce Harper hits the grand slam off Barrios, right? And Bryce Harper hits the grand slam, and Barrios takes a knee. He just took a knee. And it made me think, you bend a knee to the king, Bryce Harper. And that's exactly what it looked like. And he just tattooed that baseball, and it was long. Actually, it was only about a row or 2 back. But you could just Bryce knew it when he made contact. He knew he had a bases loaded situation there, and he knew great things were happening because in that 4th inning, here's what went down. Again, Stott let it off there with the strikeout, unfortunately. So you start out with 1 out. Then Sosa gets hit by the pitch. Clemens comes up with the RBI triple off the center field wall, makes it 4-0. Stubbs, of all people, he was working walks today. He walks on 4 pitches. Schwarber gets hit by a pitch. Very controversial play here. Now, here's why I thought the Toronto Blue Jays needed to shut their yapper for a second, okay? There were 2 issues at least where Christopher Sanchez had guys offering at pitches, and they were called safe, no swing. They didn't offer by rule at the pitch. So that's exactly what the umpires called in that situation. So Kyle Schwarber has another close call where he tries to check his swing, and he gets beamed in the foot. He gets hit in the foot. So he gets awarded first base. The way they were talking on the broadcast, if you were watching the game, was wrong. And I love T-Mac and I love Kruk. They're awesome. They're fantastic. However, it was only a 2-ball count. So it would have been ball 3 and not ball 4 to take the walk. It was a 2-2 pitch, and it hit Kyle Schwarber in the foot. So even if it only bounced off the dirt or whatever the case was, it didn't hit him, then you're only talking about at that time it would have been a full count. But it was only a 2-2 count, took the ball off the foot. They award him first base. The reason I was fine with them giving it, even from a Phillies perspective, is that the umpires had already given a bunch of calls to the Blue Jays that hurt the Phillies. Now, did it hurt the Phillies as much of a grand slam? Of course not. However, they were close calls, and they went the way of the Blue Jays. This was a close call, and this time it went the way of the Phillies. So what goes around comes around, as some people say, that's baseball. Kyle Schwarber is able to get hit by a pitch there. The bases are now loaded. Whit Merrifield goes up there. Unfortunately, he strikes out on a slurve and a 7-pitch at bat, another long at bat. And then Bryce Harper steps up there. And what Bryce Harper did He just put the barrel of the bat on the baseball and went down and got that pitch. And it was a thing of beauty. Harper goes out there, as I mentioned, 2 games in a row with 3-run home runs. And then today he ups the ante and he decides to go with the grand slam. And he hit it 360 feet on an 0-2 pitch. An 0-2 pitch, and this was the slurve that hung up just enough for Bryce Harper to go down and blast it. If you look at his last, all 3 of those home runs have been down on the zone. One was a changeup, the other was a sinker, and then this one was down there in the zone too on the slurve for Barrios that he belted out, and that was the end of the day for Jose Barrios, and that was the end of him having a really, 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 really good ERA. Now he's just got a good ERA, so that's a shame. But if Harper's going to continue to rake like this, and you're going to get contributions from Cody Clemens, you're going to get contributions from Edmundo Sosa, and you're going to get Bryson Stott finally turning it on. This Phillies team, I see no end in sight of the good things happening for this Phillies ball club. And what I have been watching so far this season is nothing short of amazing. And somebody tweeted me during the game saying they've only seen this one other time in their life, and they were 3. I think around that same time, I was 9 or 10. So for you fellow Phillies fans that have grown up as Phillies fans, watching this team play at this level with this kind of pitching staff today, oh my goodness gracious, there is no other way to describe it than just amazing. I told the person, I said, in that case, cherish it. As I was telling the little kids on Broad Street, that one amazing night, 2008, Phillies win the World Series. I had waited my whole life for it. I told the kids that I saw their dads were bringing around high-fiving people. I was just like, cherish every moment. It was great. But I'll say this. It's a great start to the season. It's very, very, very encouraging to watch this kind of start to the season. Look, I gave you my top 3. There's one man that needed a little redemption. We'll tell you who that was coming up in a second when we'll continue this postcast, and also how this season, the start of this season, compares to some of the great starts to the Philly seasons. There's not many, unfortunately, of years past when it comes to the Fighting Phils. We'll be back. You're watching Locked On Philadelphia Phillies postcast, and I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you're hitting like and you're subscribing to Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. We'll be giving you plenty of Phillies postcasts after every game right here on Locked On Philadelphia Phillies. We'll be back in a second. You guys have heard me talking a lot about Prize Picks and how much I enjoy Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 3 million members. And it's the easiest and most exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and your favorite players. Is it complicated? No, not at all. All you got to do, hit more or hit less on more player stats and watch the winnings roll in. It's just that simple. Now, how's this for a perk? We've all played fantasy sports, right? We got to play fantasy sports on Prize Picks. And why is that? Music to every fantasy owner's or fantasy picker's ears. Injury insurance. I'll say it again. Injury insurance, where your entries stay in. They play even if one or if the players gets injured, they're going to help you out here. Like in baseball, for instance, you have a player who registers 2 plate appearances or less. Prize Picks will have your back and not count that as a loss. How incredible is that? For baseball games, if you have a player at 2 appearances, again, 2 plate appearances or less, Prize Picks has your back and not count that for a loss. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this baseball season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you could earn $10. You could turn that into simply $100 with just a few taps. Prize Picks is really simple to play. You can make my picks, and I can make my picks and submit them with the entries within 60 seconds, as a matter of fact. So check that out. Prize Picks now offers Apple Pay for quick and easy deposits into your account this baseball season. So take advantage. I am lucky tonight. I thought Bryce Harper was going to have himself a game. I thought he was heating up. So when it came to more or less on Bryce Harper hits, he had 3 tonight. I had him at 2 or more. I hit more. I win. I wish I got bonus points for one of them being a grand slam, but I don't. The other, and this is the honorable mention that's coming up here, spoiler, Christopher Sanchez. I had him on more than 5 innings, and that was a little bit risky tonight. He got you 7. So I got that, and I got Harper more than 2 hits. So I love everything about that. That's all you got to do, more or less. So download the app, Prize Picks, today and use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB, all lowercase, for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB, all lowercase, for first deposit match up to $100. Get in on the action. Play more, play less, play it all with Prize Picks. Oh, how much fun is Monopoly Go? Have you downloaded this yet? Have you had your fun with Monopoly Go? Monopoly Go, I admit it, it brings out the competitive side in me that lied dormant for a long, long time. Not anymore with Monopoly Go. Big fan of Monopoly Go, the mobile hit twist on a classic Monopoly game. You know it, you love it. So join your friends and download Monopoly Go now for free on the App Store and Google Play Store. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with your friends for time tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more amazing prizes that you unlock. There's so much to get to when you talk about this, like unique stickers that you can trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, hilarious emojis for taunting your friends, because that's what we really want to do anyway, right? Taunt our friends. Well, you get hilarious emojis to do so. And you can also smash their buildings, or my personal favorite part, because I'm a vindictive fellow, you can heist their vaults. Yeah, that's right. That's a good time. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include, oh my goodness, unique mini games like digging for treasure. You can always have fun with that. And there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. How about that? There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. So get off the bench, get in the game, and go download it now for free on the Google Play or the App Store. Come on, game on with Monopoly Go. All right, before I deliver on my fine spoilers, let me see what you guys have going on here. Harper is on fire, says Star Wars 99. Hells yeah. Go Sixers. Very good win, Farzi. There's a real good pitcher they chased. Absolutely they did. Chased them right on out of the ball game. Crazy. I need Nola not to give up a home run. That'd be nice. No, I'm not gonna nitpick over Nola. No nitpicking over Nola, at least not yet, but I hear what you're saying. When we look at these guys, the number one guy I got to look at in terms of a little bit of a redemption story, Christopher Sanchez. Now, I feel like we've said this a little bit about Zach Wheeler, and I'm not putting them necessarily in the same breath or anything like that, but I'm just saying, just look at this year. We've said this phrase a lot. Well, they don't have their best stuff, but in Christopher Sanchez's case, he hasn't had his best stuff, and it certainly affected his record greatly. And Christopher Sanchez goes out there tonight after looking at his last couple of starts where he's fighting through 5 innings of work. He's fighting through 3 innings of work and tooth and nail fighting through these innings to try to help the Phillies win some ball games. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Christopher Sanchez, after the 5 innings that he tossed against the Angels on the road and the 3 innings he tossed against the Reds on the road, he comes in with an amazing performance tonight. 7 innings, 1 run for Christopher Sanchez in tonight's ball game. He absolutely looked like the guy that we saw pitch through the vast majority of last year and the very early portions of this year, his first 3-4 starts of the season. That's a guy that can rely on his changeup. And they were making a big deal of it throughout the game, and it's worth noting when you talk about his changeup, he had already eclipsed through the 5 innings, through the first 3 innings of tonight's ball game. He already passed the amount of changeups that he threw through the 5 innings out there in Anaheim against the Angels. That's a pitch that he's got to be able to rely on because it's so deceptive, especially coming out of that left hand. And it was working great for him tonight. And you saw a couple of different instances for Christopher Sanchez tonight where he just looked like the guy that you had seen through most of last year. Now, he allows Springer to lead off the game, lets him go with an 0-2 fastball. He puts that in the right field for a single. Then Guerrero steps up there. He grounds out the first, an easy play right there on a 3-1 pitch. So he battled back in that count. And then Turner steps up to the plate. He grounds out to first as well, and Bichette strikes out on 3 pitches. So things started out a little shaky. Leadoff runner on for Christopher Sanchez, and we know his last couple of starts haven't exactly been the sharpest of starts for Sanchez. but this time he's able to get out of any semblance of a jam there in the early goings of the game. Then he gets a real simple 1-2-3 inning in that second inning, including another strikeout, this one to Kurt, and he utilized that changeup away off the plate. Love to see that. Gets a little bit more run support there in the second inning with Clemens' home run, makes it a 3-0 ball game. Finds himself in a little bit of trouble there in the third inning, and this is where I thought things could blow up for Christopher Sanchez. But Garrett Stubbs does exactly what a good catcher or a good backup catcher should do. First two guys get on. There's a single. Castellanos, unfortunately, had to field it off one hop, almost made a great play on it. And then Carmeyer steps up there and works a walk on 4 pitches. Whew! Springer's coming up to the plate. Garrett Stubbs calls time, trots out to the mound. What's the deal, bro? Just throw it to my mitt, baby. Just throw it to my mitt. I couldn't read his lips, but I think that's what he said. And then you get a double play. So all of a sudden you get 2 outs. He puts up another walk, and then he gets turned to fly out to center field to end the inning. Calms the storm. Calms the storm. You absolutely love to see that. Had some more issues in the 4th inning, but he was lucky enough to get 2 strikeouts before anything happened. Jansen had a 2-out double to left field off the wall, unfortunately just over the head there of Merrifield and left. But before that, he gets Bichette, whose downward spiral continues this season, gets him to strike out on 3 pitches. And what does he use to do it? The changeup. And then after that, he gets Schneider also to strike out on another changeup. So again, the changeup working beautifully. He gets Connor Falafel over there later in the game on a strikeout on a changeup as well. And he was just handling his business throughout the start tonight. Christopher Sanchez redemption story certainly looked like that case tonight. Now, as far as the history goes for your Philadelphia Phillies, this is pretty spectacular. The Phillies are 26-11. The best all-time records the Phillies have had through their first 37 games. Their third best. Well, it's actually their second best record, but the 2 others are tied for the best record. Phillies now, as I mentioned, are 26-11. One more win tomorrow. That'll at least get them to the same number of wins the 2 previous teams have. The 1976 Philadelphia Phillies, a little before my time, and the 1993 Philadelphia Phillies. I was just a wee lad. I was just 10 years old at the time. 27-10 as well, a 730 winning percentage. Phillies right now are at 703 on the season. I know I make the point a lot about how they start out this season. Just imagine if they're able to still hit that stride in June. Like, it's hard to look at the Phillies right now and be like, oh, they just have to hit their stride. No, they look like they're hitting a stride. Let me acknowledge that. But I'll put it to you like this. If they find that other gear to hit in June, they might build up a Bravian lead in the NL East. How about that? Can I use that? I'm going to go into a Bravian lead, where all of a sudden, no matter what the Braves do, the Phillies are just winning more. And it's like, oh, why even look at the standings? Just look at the wild card standings. Forget about the NL East, That's how it feels. But wow, 1993, 1976, and 2024, this Phillies team. The 3 best starts in Phillies history after 37 games. Keep it rolling, baby. Keep it rolling. Bryce Harper, sure, 10 home runs. Or 10 home runs, that'd be something. Bryce Harper, 10 RBIs in his last 3 games. Yeah, let's keep that rolling. Let's see how long we can keep that going there, Bryce Harper. Let's keep it going. All right. I mentioned Nick Castellanos earlier. He had the RBI double in this game to really get the Phillies going there. Got things started there for the Phillies to get them on the board in that first inning. That has been huge. The Phillies scoring early in games this season has been huge. And it's been Alec Boehm who had the night off. Mostly driving in those runs. Well, tonight, Rob Thompson decided to do a couple of things different. I want to break those down for you coming up in a minute, including one person we saw out of the bullpen for the first time this season. We'll break all that down and more when we come back. You're locked on Philadelphia Phillies postcast. So make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel so you can get in on all the action. Taking your one more comment. I want to get that in here. Dean Hartscrabble. What's happening? Feels like a great win. Maybe something different this year with a hot start. Hartscrabble. I like that name. It certainly does. It certainly feels like it's a lot different than we've seen in years past. We're not used to this. I mean, the Phillies, they got a series coming up pretty soon with the New York Mets. Can't remember if it's this next series after the Blue Jays, or I think it's down the line a little bit. I don't think it's immediately after this. They have Toronto. Yeah, okay, so they got the Marlins between. So they go to Miami to face the Marlins for 3, and then they got the Mets for 4, 2 in New York and Flushing, and then 2 in South Philadelphia. That's huge, right? But if you look around the same time this year, I think it was May 25th, the Phillies got swept out of New York against the Mets. That was the low point. I think they sunk to 7 or 8 games under 500 at that point last year. Then they all of a sudden put Kyle Schwarber back at the top of the order. They went into D.C. to play the Nationals, and I'm sure that helped a little bit too. And then they went on an absolute tear. Phillies are starting off that season on an absolute tear. If there's another gear in June, buckle up, baby. I know they got some huge games coming up here, interdivisional games with the Marlins, then the Mets there, and then they got the Nationals again. But oh my goodness gracious, if there's another gear to go to, we'll all be some happy Phillies fans. All right, we'll break down some of the changes that Rob Thompson made today, going up against Barrios, and how it ended up paying off for the Phils in a big way. More after this. You're locked on Philadelphia Phillies postcast. Quick question with an easy answer. You love your mom? I love my mom, and that's why I like taking care of mom. Now, do you also love DoorDash? Yeah, I love DoorDash. DoorDash is fantastic. You probably heard of DoorDash. You probably use DoorDash. You probably use it for, your own convenience, maybe groceries, maybe some food, whatever the case may be. But have you thought about this? DoorDash helping you out for Mother's Day, Sunday, by the way. Don't forget Mom. Well, that's right, Mother's Day. You can get gifts on DoorDash, through DoorDash, at the brands that she loves and recognizes, and you can take care of Mom by using DoorDash. Use code LOCKEDONMLB and get 50% off your next order. Up to $15 when you spend $15 or more on your next flower arrangement for Mom. Maybe your own convenience, grocery, retail order, whatever it might be on DoorDash. And just once again, use promo code LOCKEDONMLB when using your DoorDash order today. Terms do apply. You can pair flowers with a gift card so you could celebrate in any way Mom really wants. And, if she's a bookworm, try a bookstore gift card as well. Does she love a good latte? Well, maybe throw in a gift card right there to her favorite coffee shop. You can't go wrong. DoorDash has it all. So get thoughtful gifts that Mom loves and at the convenience that you need. Choose same-day delivery or schedule a week ahead when flowers and gifts should arrive. A couple of days here. Get on it with DoorDash. So make sure you use DoorDash and use, once again, promo code LOCKEDONMLB to get 50% off your next order, up to $15 when you spend $15 or more on your next flower arrangement for Mom or the gift for Mom. Also, your own convenience, your grocery order, your retail order, whatever it might be on DoorDash. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB when using DoorDash today. Terms apply. Let's look at it like this. This Phillies lineup today. Now, I got to be honest with you. Here's how it went. I had some yard work to do today, okay? So I had the earphones in, right? And I had the Twitter notifications up. And sure enough, Phillies lineup. And it starts listing off the people. And I'm waiting to hear JT Realmuto batting second. I hear Kyle Schwarber, and then I hear Merrifield, and that caught my attention, and my head shot up. And then I don't even think I heard Bryce Harper at first batting third, so I was a little confused for a second. And then I heard Castellanos clean up, Brandon Marsh, Bryson Stott, Edmundo, Sosa, Cody Clemens, Garrett Stubbs behind the plate. We're facing the MLB leader, folks, and Jose Barrios. And Rob Thompson's like, let's see what we got with this lineup. Cody Clemens gets 4 RBIs and a home run. Edmundo Sosa adds an RBI triple. Garrett Stubbs, they're terrified to pitch to get. He should have walked 3 times today. Garrett Stubbs. The last pitch he saw, I think it was the 8th inning. That was a pitch way outside. He rung him up. Somebody had dinner reservations or something. Open bar tab, I don't know. And Stubbs should have walked 3 times, but he walked twice. So you get 2 walks from Stubbs, 2 for 4 with a home run, 4 RBIs for Cody Clemens. Edmundo Sosa goes up there. He gets an RBI for you. He gets 2 runs scored as well. Not too shabby. Gets hit by a pitch. Come on. These guys are going out there. And Whit Merrifield gets a hit for you. He's 1 for 5 on the day, but still, Whit Merrifield only strikes out once out of the 2 hole today. This is what I know. I make fun of him all the time for his maneuvering. It paid off today, and especially when I looked at it and I went, "Hold on a second here. Trey Turner's gone for like a month, maybe more, and now's the time you're going to be like, you know what, Bryson Stott, you just chillax, you just play second base, don't go to shortstop today. Johan Rojas, you take the day off." Just enjoy yourself. Brandon Marsh is going to be out there in center field. And Whit Merrifield get out there to left. Not the lineup I would have rolled out against Barrios today, but maybe today's a shining example, one of the many, as to why I am not a big league manager. 10-1, the Phillies won that game. The last thing on my mind would have been a blowout victory for the Phillies. The last thing. When I was doing some yard work, had the earphones in, and I heard that earbuds in, and I heard the thing, I went, oh, okay, so Christopher Sanchez is going to have to pitch his arse off tonight. And you know what? He did. 7 innings, 1 run. If you would have told me that was his line, I would say, oh, wow, the Phillies won by 1 run, maybe. Maybe the Phillies lose 1-0. But I would have been like, Christopher Sanchez 1 run. I'm going to say the Phillies actually won that game, but maybe like 2-1, 3-1, 10-1. Red hot baseball team, folks. I did mention Nick Castellanos. He came up with the 1 hit today. Keep him going. He got over 200 for the first time in a long time today. And then, unfortunately, the last out he made dropped under the unofficial Mendoza line. He's now at 199 on the season, but good to see him at least get another extra base hit, his second double of the season. You'd love to see it. Also, Kyle Schwarber got his first double of the season. That's bonkers, but he did get that tonight. Phillies do wrap up this brief 2-game set with the Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow. It'll be an afternoon game, so we'll be on in the afternoon for this Locked On Phillies postcast. So don't miss that. We got that going on today tomorrow after a 1:05 start time. On the hill for the Phillies tomorrow will be Aaron Nola. He'll go against Chris Bassett. Bassett comes into this game. This is the game the Phillies will lose because the guy's coming into town with a 5.45 ERA, is 2-5 on the season. Bassett is coming off a right-handed pitcher, coming off a start where he faced the Kansas City Royals. He went 6 innings, allowing 3 runs, all of them earned on 4 hits. He walked 1. Not a big strikeout pitcher. But he'll be getting the start tomorrow for the Phillies. Will the 35-year-old veteran righty going for the Blue Jays tomorrow. As for Aaron Nola, he is 4-1 on the season with a 3.32 ERA, coming off a brief start against the San Francisco Giants, that 4-3 victory. He went 4 innings, allowing 2 runs, both of them earned. He did walk 4 through that outing, but the Phillies, of course, were able to get that win. They have now won 7 straight. They'll go for 8 tomorrow and look to improve upon their best start to a season since 1993 and continue to go in pursuit for, well, how about this? This is the best season they've ever had. Let's go for the best season over there. Let's just keep going. I know it's May. Well, why not? Let's shoot for the stars. You know what I'm saying? So Nola goes against Bassett tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys first click like and subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. You guys can catch me after tomorrow's 1:05 start time and hopefully an 8th consecutive win for your Philadelphia Phillies. Appreciate you. Tinker Topper can't complain too much. Yeah, I hear you there, Dean. Dean, guaranteed split. Can't lose this series at least. Well, that's very true. The Phillies have still not lost a series since their second series of the season against Cincinnati Reds. There you go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are great as per usual. Once again, hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. This has been a Locked On Phillies postcast on Locked On Sports Philadelphia.